Hello, my name is Mark West, and this is my Action Research Project. I began my Action Research Project by reflecting back on my experiences and my observations. In my many years as an art educator, I always look for texts and materials that would help me better teach my students core art concepts. What I have found is a lot of texts that seem to have to address the reader with flowery, adjective-dripping descriptions. These overexpressed descriptions do more to confuse the reader and muddle the information that is pertinent to doing the art project itself. Besides this, I have found that the students that come through my classes are not interested in another book to read or things to study from the written word. In these types of assignments, such as art history, the student would become bored and disengaged. The other art teaching experience is the physical art project demonstration itself. There was one of me and 30 of them. Many would give up trying to see around everybody's head, or if I did have them back far enough where nobody's head was in the way, no one could really see what I was doing. If a step was missed, there was no way of reversing the demonstration. I would then spend most of my time in going from individual to individual, reteaching what I just taught in the demonstration. The second influence in creating my action research was my observation of high school students themselves. Very seldom did I see students with their noses in books. Even in the library, where books were in abundance, they were either on the computer, playing a video game, texting their friends, or if they did have a book open, they were looking at the pictures with an iPod in their ears. So as I continued to address the project, I was asking the question, has technology rewired our students' brains, thus the way that our students learn? Do these things that our students plug into their heads fundamentally change the process of learning itself? As I began to investigate this premise, I found historically that there have been other fundamental changes in the systems for delivering information. From the beginning of Western civilization until about the time of Socrates, the spoken word, storytelling, and memorization were the vehicles for transmitting information. As the written word became mainstream, it is told that Socrates voiced concerns about mental laziness amongst youth. Next would come the printing press, and the written word would now be for the masses. The tools of the Pony Express, the telegraph, institutionalized education, the telephone, the radio, movies, the television, would come into being over the next 500 years. So, my investigations brought me to the conclusion that these amazing inventions and those that have happened over less than 60 years are merely tools, not synaptic-altering devices. Then the course material of multiple intelligence convinced me that it was not just a matter of right brain and left brain learning styles, but that of visual and kinesthetic intelligence that must be addressed as well. So how can I use these tools to improve the dissemination of core art concepts and better engage the students I teach? I had to create something that could be seen by the visual learner and conceptualized by the kinesthetic learner. Adding to the direction of my project was the literature I was reading on technology and the visual and kinesthetic learner. It reinforced many of my conclusions about how education would be best served by embracing technology. Course materials in my monthly classes at Full Sail, introduced me to many Web 2.0 tools that could be used to better best practices. One of these was the Ning, a learning community platform, and the other was VoiceThread, an image sharing platform. These two Web 2.0 tools would allow classroom studio time to be used for hands-on learning, and computer time, either at school or at home, would be used for learning things like art theory. I would take the next year, in addition to my course materials, to create step-by-step teaching visuals for the first-year ceramics student. These visuals would not only be infused into the traditional physical demonstration, but also to be used as tutorials for remediation. Students would no longer have to be subject to trying to get the information through a crowd of head-bobbing classmates, or, if they were absent, be lost until I could leave the teaching of the rest of the class and spend a large chunk of instructional time with them, bringing them up to speed. I implemented my project in a ceramics program at a small community college. Through surveys and interviews, I gathered my results. My project proved to be a great success. The students understood the core material more completely and were able to implement them more successfully. I now have something that I can use in the future and share with my fellow art teachers to improve best practices in their classrooms. I plan to continue to explore, create, and improve art classroom instruction through this type of technology and others as they are created and refined.